Rangers drawing one each with Dundee wasn't the only drama in the game, because how did they get to one each? Well, it was a dodgy penalty. Welcome back to Fog Football. Why am I calling it a dodgy penalty? Shouldn't I be saying it was a clear penalty? Guess what, folks? I don't think it was a clear penalty. We've got a poll to react to. I challenge anybody, right? Now, obviously, yeah, I know how it works. I've played the game for a long time here. Even if this was the clearest penalty all day, Celtic fans are still going to pretend it wasn't, right? But rewatching it, going over it, seeing it slowed down, Gazma gets in front of his man, and Gazma pulls the Dundee guy. He's got a hold of the Dundee guy's shirt, and he kind of just flaps his legs, man, about, and then flies to the ground. I think it's smart for Gazma, because I want us a penalty. And by God, if Cyril Dessers is onside, and would I have been in party mode in the 96th minute against Dundee? Which would have felt quite bad, because it's like, Jesus Christ, we need a 96th minute winner against Dundee, but feels better than the alternative, and the alternative was drawing one each. But for me, no, I'm actually going to agree with the 75%. It should have been overturned, but that's the problem. I think this is actually incorrect, phrasing here, because letter of the law, this is a penalty. And you may be like, well, you're just saying it's not a penalty. But that's where I think the law's dodgy, because it's not clear and obvious, and by the letter of the law it is a penalty, but when you actually look at it and break it down, it's like, yeah, the referees gave it, but Gazma's clearly pulling the Dundee guy into him. It's a mess, man, and penalties, free kicks, handballs, red cards, whatever, they should be able to get it right with VAR, but I feel like VAR it's left the door open to put everything under a magnifying glass. And then there's instances where there's absolutely nothing in it, but then under the magnifying glass of VAR, they completely get the wrong decision. Then there's instances like this where they have got the magnifying glass to properly dissect it, but then they don't. I mean, put it this way, if this is Simon Murray up the other end of the pitch and John Souttar's at the back of him, and the exact same thing happens, did Dundee get a penalty? Who knows? Probably not, but, see big club bias. There's people pretend that, all the referees are out to favour Rangers, all the referees are out to favour Celtic. Reality is, man, across every league in the world, the big teams tend to get the best of the decisions, on average, so I'm agreeing with the 75%. Shoot me if you want, but the reality is, I don't want to be sitting here, early August, mid-August now, talking about a penalty that scraped a draw to get us 2 points out of 6. I want to be talking about a penalty that got us, to win 7-0, and it didn't matter. But no, it did matter. It got us a point in a game where we lost. Because make no mistake about it, that's a loss. What's Robert saying? Minutes to go, 1-0 down at Ibrox, don't make me laugh. You know what Robert's opinion is? Alan, the Lionel holding his flag on Dessers' offside goal tells you everything. I mean, I haven't really seen the replay of the linesman. I mean, I didn't look at him. I mean, Dessers is clearly off when you see the replay, but again, I think this is bullshit for Alan here. You all know why? Because we know for a fact now that even if they think they're off, they have to let it run. Now, I believe it was just VAR that overturned it, and it's not like he stuck his hand up or his flag up at the end, but yeah. I mean, with penalties, the referees can definitely change the influence, but offsides just tend to be one or the other. It's either on or it's not. Hugh Trodden, the Lodge looking after the Slodge. We shall not be moved. There you go. Adam Park says, I've not seen it yet, however, Rangers are getting beat and they get a late penalty, so definitely a dive. He's not seen it yet. Fuck me, Adam. Mate, the game was ages ago. David Cowie, hardly a surprise. Postman Des, 67. Hun cheats the lot of them. Brown envelopes to your wee club as well. Bernard Colony House, watching too much fucking From. Connolly. Rangers. Anyone watch From, by the way? What a television show. Rangers getting a penalty in injury time to avoid defeat. Who would have thought it? Happened against Queen's Park and Tavernier Belinda. Never a penalty in a million years. That was a better dive than any of Tom Daly's. Right, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I can understand why the penalty's given, but you also have to be fair and look at it and be like, well, he's played the referee there. Glasgow Football League. Matthew Daisley, this week, the week before the officials did everything they could to get Celtic to drop points, embarrassing. Aye, what a load of shite. What horrific decisions went on in that Celtic St Mirren game? You know what I mean? If they didn't want Celtic, right, to pick up all 3 points, they would have just started awarding goals to St Mirren out the blue. Would they not have done that? Diving rat at the bottom. Age old question: what was Rangers' score today? Answer 0-0. Who missed the penalty? Bambi on ice moment. Tell you, as a Rangers fan, never a penalty, so start. Yeah, I mean, what's he saying? An honest one, not many like you. Yeah, I don't think it is a penalty, man. Honestly, if you think it's a penalty, rewatch it. Rewatch it. Like I said, by the letter of the law, it is a penalty, but I just think football's too fucking far gone at this stage. But to wrap this video up, we have got some comments. Who's it from again? Richard Foster. So, let's see here. He was speaking on Go Radio about Rangers and Club Bruges, and I quote, I think they could get a pasting. If you give a team a quality of Bruges those kind of chances, they'll score 4 of them. That then puts a whole different dynamic on the way Rangers are playing under Russell Martin. Against Panathinaikos, I felt they gave up too many opportunities and had to rely on Jack Butland, which is fine as he's a goalkeeper and it's his job to make saves. But at some point, some teams are going to score more of those chances they miss. Rangers could be on the end of a pasting, and that's why I think they will struggle against Bruges. End of quote. Here, I think we can all see it, man. You don't. It's pathetic the amount of shots we are conceding on target. Well, on target, but just in general. I mean, over 100 shots against 6 teams. And let's be real, 4 are Champions League games, right? But 2 are against Motherwell and Dundee. We're averaging something like 18 shots. It's like I think it's like 17 shots a game against us. Like Bruges will be the best team we've played this season. So if Pilsen are getting 27 against us, what are Bruges going to get? And that's another thing, man. We're 3-0 up going into that Pilsen game, and it's like he just plays the same 4-3-3, but again he doesn't change his tactics, Martin. It's going to be the death of the guy. We seen that Pilsen game. We should have been set up to counter attack because the amount of space that was in behind, which was all there to exploit. But he sets up in his shitey style, man. It just didn't work anyway. Late night fed. Peace.